stream. And we can start adjusting things. Doop. Just a smidgen bigger. No, a little bit more. There we go. And up, 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 up. That should be good. Looks good. Does it sound good? It does indeed. So hello people of the internet. It is I, SolarRactor, here back with more Fate's Grand Order, where today we will be finishing off part 2 of Avalon Milfay, one way or another. There's no real new news, and we just get the general login stuff for the 6th anniversary. I will go ahead and claim some of this stuff here real quick, as well as throw a few levels Goey's way. I forgot this had a special animation for the Lanterns of Chaldea. But, yeah, not really much. I guess there was another bug yesterday, where if you logged on early enough, you could claim the extra reward quartz that was available during Anniversary, but they then rolled it all back. I did also do a lot of Treasury Vault runs, just because I may as well. I'm just getting tired of seeing the weird number here. Granted, I'm not going to be getting the rank ups and interludes done, but we can at least get the treasures and eventually the training runs. But that'll be off-stream time. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else for Mana Prisms, really. I forgot to clean out my second archive, though, so that's... Or not my second archive, but my CEs and extra servants, so that's still a little bit clogged up here, if this isn't obvious enough. I've got to check if I'm already ranked up, but let me just burn these. Lots of 5-star embers here. There we go. Anyways, like I said, we're going to do a little bit more leveling for Goey here, since she is the one to be worked upon at this moment. And then we will be jumping into Avalon Milfay. Super. Very nice. That was a look for you, Goey. That was certainly a look for you to take on there briefly. And another super at the very least. Very nicely done, Goey. Very nicely done indeed. But yeah, we'll go ahead and ascend Goey. We might actually finish her up here since we got those 2 supers here. And then I can take Goey off the top of the list, even though she is not technically on top. You know what I mean? What I'm saying? Final Ascension Goey. I actually have grown to like this one. My deception ends here. Master. Would you care to give the name this fake servant should actually be called? Aw. No? Oh man. Clyte Van Gogh. We get the skill Soul of Water Channels EX. Increase attack for 3 turns, crit star, gather rate for 3 turns for a single ally, and apply a state that removes 1 curse when attacking with a quick card, and slightly increases attack for yourself when removal is successful for yourself. Also absorbs all curse from enemies, including yourself. And then we did get some... We are out of the basic embers, so let's go ahead and claim some more. 50, I think 50 is the lowest count that we have at this point. So we'll start from the... Oh, nope, we got some 20s. 20. Yep, that's probably the lowest we got. So then a 50 as well. I think I'm just going to finish leveling up Goey here, and then we'll jump into Avalon Milfay. I'm a procrastinator, okay? I like to stretch things out, even though I probably shouldn't be. Because I have no idea how much longer is left in Avalon Milfay, so hopefully the stream's title isn't going to be deceptive this time. Also, from getting multiple greats, or supers, in a row. There we go. And this should be, yep, level 80 for Goey. There we go, and final ascension, Goey here. Yep, we'll finish leveling up Goey here, skill her up, and then into Avalon Milfay Friday when we do the high-end Kyo free quests, if I haven't finished Avalon Milfay. If I have finished Avalon Milfay, that is. We'll work on whoever's next. After long growth, my spirit origin has finally stabilized. Master certainly is a peculiar one to allow a patchwork monster like me as an accomplice on the journey for humanity's salvation. I'll be with you forever. I will go with you as long as you live. That's another Van Gogh for you. Nice. Nice, Goey. Goey is very sweet. I did very much grow to like her in the Imaginary Scramble event. Ooh, a great success. Interesting that she gets purple lightning in her eyes, though. It's still a little interesting. Do I have another 50 stack? I do. Indeed. Yeah, we are approaching the end of our basic 4-star embers, although I do believe I've got some in my second archive. I should also probably be pushing towards melt a little bit with some of these as well. So we'll probably do that on Friday as well. But the final bit for Goey here. We should have 2 4-star embers left, if my memory serves. Yep, it does indeed. So, Goey is level 90, fully max leveled out as far as we're going to take her. Now we skill her up, skill her up, skill her up, skill her up, skill her up. And we can safely now remove Goey from the level up order. For she is doomed. And then we jump into Avalon LaFay. Because we are approaching Camelot, and it will be time for the final confrontation with Morgan. I am wondering how this is going to go, because we do know more about Morgan, and she is a very tragic backstory, honestly. Very, very tragic backstory that makes me kind of hope that, well, I mean, she's not going to survive. None of the Lostbelt Kings has. No, that's a false statement. Ivan we killed. Scotty we technically spared. Same thing with Mothman. Arjuna we killed. Zeus we killed. Morgan, you know, we're currently more on the kill side than not, so maybe Lostbelt 6 that'll balance the scales, you know? 3 kills, 3 spare, and that just means that we're gonna be odd in the end, but that's fine, that's fine. Who's got the Noble Phantasm? Rama. Okay, he is already MP5. Good to know. So I can burn that Rama, but that'll be done on my off time. For now, no further ado, let's jump in to Avalon LaFay. Camelot, Section 23, The Eve of Decisive Battle 2. No battles for this node. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to give me a like and a subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. All the Avalon LaFay will be posted here section by section. Alright, looks like it's going to be a Morgan node. I have a report to make, Queen Morgan. Tamlin Bargus and Tamlin Lancelot have finished arranging their formations on Camelot's ramparts. Lady Aurora of the Wind Clan has assembled an army and departed from Salisbury. They should arrive at Camelot's west gate tomorrow. Lord Spriggan of the Earth Clan is already here, along with his private company of soldiers. Lady Marina of the Wind Clan has sided with the Child of Prophecy and refused your summons. Of our 105 royal knights stationed around Britain, 80 have returned to Camelot, while 25 remain in their respective territories after refusing your summons. Not even all the knights are here? Can't believe there are defectors in the Queen's own army. Doesn't this mean Camelot's forces are outnumbered now? Not to mention the bells of pilgrimage have all been rung. They say the Child of Prophecy's magical energy is now equal to her majesty's. And the foreign mage is said to command ghosts whose power rivals even our own knights. What do you think we should do? Maybe it's not too late to change sides ourselves. No, it's okay. We have nothing to fear as long as you have the Tamlin. She may have been defeated, but Vargas is still as strong as ever. They'll never get through the main gates with her around. Aurora says she will be late, does she? Precisely the sort of trickery I expect from her. Tell Vargas she needn't bother opening the west gate. But, Your Majesty, that would mean... Do not make me repeat myself. Your Majesty, what would you have us do with the knights who refused your summons? If you'd like to have them branded traitors, we'd be happy to go confiscate their territories. That will not be necessary. I've already disposed of those who refused my summons personally. The very act of weighing me against the Child of Prophecy itself is blasphemy and punishable by death. She's already killed them. Long-range magecraft. She killed knights all across the land on a single night? How? They may not compare to the Tamlin, but a single one of the Queen's knights is still the equal of 1,000 ordinary soldiers, and she killed 25 of them by herself? Silence, you dithering idiots. I did not summon my knights here because I require their aid. I merely offered them a chance to demonstrate their loyalty. Camelot will never fall, no matter what the rebel army may attempt. In my estimation, they are no greater a threat than the 8th Calamity. I can handle them alone, easily. And the Child of Prophecy is a fool for thinking she can match me merely by ringing the bells of pilgrimage. How many times does she think I've completed the very same pilgrimage? One such journey does not give her enough power to match even my little finger. What was that? Did Her Majesty just admit to undergoing the pilgrimage herself? She did. Does that mean the rumors are true? Is Queen Morgan actually a fairy of paradise? Your Majesty, please forgive my interruption. We've just received a call from Lady Nock of the Kingsland Mirror. Shall I answer it? Yes, bring me the mirror. At once, Your Majesty. Spatial mirror. To me. Good day, Queen Morgan. It is I, Nock, descendant of the Northern Fairies. First, I must offer an apology in regards to your recent request. I'm afraid I was unable to dispose of the Child of Prophecy as you instructed me. Following a fair and honorable duel, the Child of Prophecy and I have become close friends. I do hope you can forgive me for failing to do as you commanded. Not that I expect a frigid bitch like you to ever thought I would to begin with, since you don't trust anyone. Ooh. That little how dare that northern barbarian speak to Her Majesty this way. Oh, but I do bring you some glad tidings, Queen Morgan. Allow me to offer my congratulations. At long last, you're going to be freed from the burden of ruling over Britain. For too long, you've been sucking us dry with your command spells and been woefully inadequate with your response to the great calamities. As long as you remain on the throne, Britain has no future. And above all, I'm the rightful heir to the throne as granted to me by my predecessor, Queen Mab. It's time for you to retire, Morgan. We can't trust you with Britain any longer. As Nock, the rightful Queen of Britain, I offer Camelot's current administration an opportunity to surrender. If you refuse to peacefully hand over your castle by tomorrow morning, I'll come take it by force. Your treaty with my predecessor, the past queen, is now null and void. Prepare yourself, Morgan Le Fay. This is a declaration of war from the Child of the Queen and the Child of Prophecy. Ooh, Mave's throwing down the gauntlet. Or Nock is. And to the Northern Plains now. For another no battle node. Alright, so Morgan's getting surrounded by her foes. Oh boy. 1.5 days after the attack on Londinium, the evening of the 44th day in Britain. Only 44 days, except for Madge, who's been here for millennia. Uh-oh. There, that's the declaration of war taken care of. We've established that we are in the right. Oh, we were in the room with her. Interesting. Aren't you supposed to declare war before giving the enemy a chance to surrender? Right, I thought first you declared war, then offered your enemy a chance to surrender after you'd weakened them. Oh, come on, you know Morgan would never surrender. I was just getting the formalities out of the way. So the fighting begins tomorrow morning. Assuming that we'll need to organize new formations for our armies anyway, how should we go about our siege? It doesn't look as though the Queen's army will try to attack us out here in the open. Nope, the fact that there aren't any troops out in the plains yet already means they definitely just focus on shoring up their defenses. Good thing for us too, since that left the Round Table Army get here from Oxford today. So it's finally time to rig down the big castle, huh? Which gate do we take? Main, west, or east? Just the main gate. That's what Nock put us to. Just the main gate. That's what Nock put together her giant corps for. After we've smashed the main gate, the Northern Fairy Army and the Round Table Army will occupy the castle town. Personally, I'd rather wait to do that until after we've seized control of the castle itself, but I already told you, no way. I want to keep my new castle in pristine condition. Especially the throne. Even if we succeed at defeating Morgan, it won't mean anything if we destroy the throne in the process. Something special about the throne? No, not really. I just plan to get a lot of use out of it once it's mine. Don't you think you're getting ahead of yourself? We haven't even started fighting yet, let alone won. I'd worry about yourself more than me. Never mind the castle town. You guys are going to have the hardest time of all once you're inside the castle itself. Morgan is going to come straight for you and Soul. If either of you dies, that'll pretty much put paid to Ainsl's paid. Don't know that for phrasing. If that happens, the Round Table Army's morale will crumble and me and my army will be the only ones to survive. Yes, that's a good point. Should we have Artoria and Soul stay behind them? Not an option. We'll never break through the main gate without the Faerie of Paradise's protection. Especially with Barghest and Lancelot standing in our way. Artoria, Mash, and Soul are the only ones who can hold their own against those two. You three will need to be in the vanguard with the whole time. First the gate, then the city, then the castle. Got it? Soon we'll be back in that throne room again. What is it, Nock? What's with the sigh? If you've got something to say, now's the time to say it. You won't get another chance before tomorrow night. If you don't say something memorable now, you'll just end up as that weird chocolate queen. Who asked you? Besides, you know what I pledged, right? So never mind that now. As soon as Morgan's defeated and that throne is mine, I'll be ready to settle things in our rematch. Well, what do you know? I thought you'd be in a foul mood once the Round Table Army joined us, but you're more fired up than ever. Guess having your rival and your lover here was just the motivation you needed. Pretty much. Neither of them belong to me just yet, but you can definitely never have too many rewards. Oh. She considers us her lover already. Which is why we need to cover every possible angle in the strategy meeting. Artoria, the Child of Prophecy. Percival, the commander of the Round Table Army. Grimmer, Magecraft advisor to the Northern Army. Da Vinci, sage of the outside world. You four stay here with me. Muramasa, Soul, you're dismissed. There's a tent set up for you at the campsite. Go rest up for tomorrow. You want me here too? Well, okay. I guess I can offer my opinion as a representative of Chaldean proper human history. Don't worry about me, Soul. Take advantage of this chance to rest. I'll go over what we cover here with you later. Give Mash my best. I'll let Oberon know as well, then. I know Artoria is going to be fine. She's a lot more jaded than she puts on. Welcome back, Master. How'd the strategy meeting with the Round Table Army and Northern Army go? Well, Nock went in to declare war on Morgan. I see, so Nock said this will be a battle between two opposing nations. And since the general plan of attack for the castle is decided, now they just need to hammer out the particulars. Yep, begins tomorrow morning. Our goals are to obtain Rangominiad and stop the British Lostbelt's collapse from engulfing the world. I know we need to defeat Queen Morgan to achieve both of these goals, but... Can you fight her, though, Ash? If you could settle this peacefully, I'd do that in a heartbeat. But Queen Morgan has been ruling Britain the way she believes is right for 2,000 years. Words won't change her mind, especially since that's not how she wants to be persuaded. She'll only change her mind once she's been defeated by a power greater than her own. She said if you want to make your dreams come true, you need to prove you're strong enough to do so. That's Aesic the Savior as I knew her. She was always severe like that. So knowing Aesic's that... Okay, so it's making her more willing to fight. What about you, Senpai? I know this battle will determine the future of Britain, but I also know it's been 44 days since we left the Storm Border, and we're approaching our deadline. We don't necessarily have to take part in this battle to complete our mission. We could always sneak into Camelot while the Round Table Army and the Queen's Army are fighting each other, and acquire Rangominiad that way. If Holmesir were here, he'd probably suggest we do that. Excuse me. Nope, we're fighting. I already promised her I'd help. Indeed I did. Right. Running away was never an option. We have a responsibility as humans from proper human history who've already overthrown many Lostbelts. We have hope as the Child of Prophecy's companions who've been with her on her journey. If we're going to fight Queen Morgan for the future of this beautiful land, those are the two things we need to hold on to. Indeed, for the future, we fight. Another no-battle node! They're gonna just drop a hellish battle at the end of this, aren't they? Habitrot, Grimmer. Oh, hey there, Soul. Out for a walk? We wrapped up the strategy meeting a little while ago. All that's left now is to wait for tomorrow morning. You would match with the queue to our assault team, so make sure you memorize the layout of the castle before you turn in. Hey, here, knock through a map of Castletown. Remember how tall its buildings were when we went to that audience? That's why you've got to watch your steps so you don't get lost, especially since I won't be there to help you out this time. Not gonna fight with us? I'll stick with you guys until you get back to, the storm border, was it? But I'm not gonna fight Morgan. I'm gonna see how things play out from here. That's sad. If you're going to fight her, I'd like you to take her on and give her such a beating she'll have no choice but to admit she's outclassed. She's a really sore loser, so she'll never admit defeat otherwise. How about you, Grimmer? You gonna join them in the war? Habitat knows ASIC as well, so that's gotta hurt to see her like this. It really must. Well, yeah, honestly I don't care which side wins, but I'm gonna keep Artori alive. My goal is to ensure the Fairy of Paradise fulfills her duty. As long as Artoria stays alive, she can always try again, even if she doesn't defeat Morgan tomorrow. The prophecy did say she'll be the true king, remember? Oh yeah, Ainsl's prophecy did say something about that, didn't it? Chosen by the staff of selection, the savior, guarded by travelers from afar, shall reach the throne. The true king shall arrive at the throne, except now this bloodied crown. Ring, ring like raging thunder, like weeping flame. Let us hearken to the 6 bells ringing. So far, everything's played out just as it said. Arteria rang the 6 bells, had a foreign mage watching out for her, and tomorrow she'll be within arm's reach of the throne. As far as I can tell, her and Morgan's spirit origins are evenly matched, and their support teams are too. So it'll all come down to tomorrow. That said, I really don't like the image of a bloodied crown. It's gotta be talking about Morgan's blood staining the crown after her defeat, right? Damn it, Ainsel, could you have chosen better imagery for the Child of Prophecy's victory? I mean, it probably also means that Morgan's been squeezing Britain hard for a long time now, but still. Oh, right. Sol, could you give Percival a message for me? I'm happy to inscribe runes on the Round Table Army's shields to you, but I've got my limits just like anyone else. So tell him to gather his 100 best soldiers and have them see me. You'll find him in the officer's tent. Keep an eye on Habitat along the way, then, please. No problem. We've known each other since the first Grimmer, after all. Don't worry, I'll make sure she doesn't push herself too hard again. Poor Habitat, she's beat up over this. Oh, memory time with Percival. There's one thing in this world that no one can do anything about. Love. Bards have long sung of love. They have called it fate, joy, and even death. In their songs, those without love are, in a sense, blessed, and those with it are, in a sense, discontent. When I was a young child, I didn't know what they meant. I believed love was simply that. I believed love was simple. The merely loving and being loved was enough to be happy. Excuse me. When I was bought from the ranch, I was taken to a dazzlingly beautiful city. I grew up in one of their educational facilities with the other children who'd been purchased like I was. I wanted for nothing. They said a fairy built the whole place on a whim. What if we tried raising them ourselves had been the question they asked. The result was a rearing house not meant to raise Tamlin, but humanites. It was run by the head of the Fang clan, though they said he didn't choose to do it. He only came to see us a few times, but whenever he did, he told the children the same thing. I bought all the children born that year. There are no other candidates to be found. If none of you show any promise by the time you grow up, this venture will be considered a failure. I know life isn't easy here, but do the best you can. He wasn't the most delicate of men, but he wasn't cruel or heartless either. Excuse me. Why did I go into the restaurant business? Well, I suppose I can tell you. We Fang Clan fairies are wild by nature. Once we go into a frenzy, nothing can stop us. That's why once we committed grave sin, That's why we once committed a grave sin. We wiped out an entire clan for the smallest of reasons. So the Fang Clan needs to learn etiquette, good taste, and moderation. We're better off as vegetarians than carnivores. That won't make up for our past sins, of course, but at least want to try to ensure we don't repeat them. Okay, so he regrets what he did to Murian. I couldn't respect him, but I didn't hate him either. If nothing else, at least he had a conscience. Poor Murian, by the way. I mean, she's getting her revenge now. Our days of training continued. Over time, more of the children failed to make the cut, and were given to other fairies as slaves. The only reason I lasted is because I was lucky enough to be born with a strong constitution and... That's it. See how your left arm got hot just now? That's your magical circuit. It's one of your gifts, Percival. Even humans can generate magical energy. From there, it all depends on how you use it. Go on. Try and copy me. Because I have the strongest, gentlest knight of the lake in all of Britain with me. It's okay. There's no need to be hasty. I'm here for you, Percival. Woodwoes won't come here anymore. That venture has been shut down. So you have all the time in the world to grow up. Please don't be reckless. Please don't get hurt. Please don't do anything fun without me either. You're my first student, my first child, my first brother, my first friend. Ah, my dear Percival, may you grow up healthy and strong. That was the love I knew back then. Just being loved was all I needed. And being able to meet her expectations was the greatest happiness I had known. But as I grew older, every year I saw a little more of the world. Bit by bit, I began to see what I didn't see as a child. Uh-oh. Listen, Melusine, it's terrible, just terrible. After all the work we put into the manor, those bones people keep messing with it. I understand their confidence, since their own manor is doing so well, but lately they've been baselessly slandering ours almost non-stop. They're harassing the humans who work there. I'm afraid. You know how rough they can be, right? If they did anything to the humans. Just thinking about it turns my knees to jelly. Tell me, are my wings still glistening? Of course, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. The love she knew, the love she'd been given, wasn't love at all. It was merely affection. Love was destiny, joy, death, a curse she was powerless against. I knew. Even then, I knew it was all wrong. But love distorts all of our good senses, and makes fools of the wise, and good people do evil things. It causes beauty to lose its true form. Even though she knew she was only being used, she still clung to that love. Ooh, okay. So we know that Aurora is the one who gave Melusine her name. Melusine / Tamlin Lancelot, whatever. When she pulled her from the remnants of Albion. And Melusine is very loyal to Aurora. But Percival knew Melusine, and from the sounds of it, he thinks Aurora doesn't love Melusine as a daughter, but is just using her. That could be ominous. Even as it stole the happiness she should have known, and the future she should have enjoyed. That day, I heard a cry of grief that tore at my very soul. It was the night I broke the rules and rushed back to the cathedral to tell her I'd been awarded the Spear of Selection. This could be an excellent thumbnail. Go away. That was when I saw her lost in despair, at her own foolishness. I couldn't help her or even say anything to her. I was still only 10 years old at the time. That's why I wanted to grow up as quickly as I could. I was sure that once I grew up, I'd know how to free her from that horrible curse. That's right, I'm gonna save her. I swear it. I don't deserve any praise for becoming the commander of the Round Table Army. I only want to defeat the Queen to set her free. I never had any intention of fighting for all of Britain. I only wanted one thing, no matter how selfish the love that drives that want may be. He wants to free Melusine. I know, Gareth. I'm not a child anymore. I will see that your lance finds her. It's the least I can do to make your wish to protect Britain come true. Unless he maybe he thinks Melusine is torn between her loyalty to Morgan and Aurora, but she seems very clearly on Aurora's side. Pardon me. Oh, hello, soul. Something I can do for you. You have a message from Grimmer. I see 100 of my best soldiers, huh? I'll go round them up right away. Thanks for telling me. Are you alright? That obvious, huh? It's true. I got scolded for spacing out in the strategy meeting, too. But it's okay. I know what I need to do now, and I've made my peace with it. I'm Percival of the Round Table Army now. I have things worth fighting for and wishes of my own. Now I'm only going to fight for what's right. Please, let Artoria know that, too. I think she probably saw right through me at the meeting earlier. Hmm. Tomorrow we face Queen Morgan. I know we're going to have to fight Lancelot as well. So I ask that you let me handle her myself, as the commander of the Round Table Army. I may not be able to defeat her, but I swear to at least keep her busy until the battle is over. Sure, Percy? Are you sure? I am. Arturia and Nock are the main actors in this battle, and the prophecy didn't say anything about me anyway. This just goes to show that I didn't know what love was when I was a child. Poor Percy. He's beaten up inside. Another no battle node. It's really feeling like we're gonna get smacked with something intense for the last node here. Where's Arturia? Arturia was here just a moment ago. She said she was gonna take a walk outside camp to get some night air. Sure, it was a little reckless of her to go out on her own right before the big battle, but she's strong enough now that she'll be fine even if one of the Tamlin were to attack her. The real problem is whatever made her want to go outside. Maybe she's just tired from being around all these people? Well, you know, she always had a tough time with crowds. Well, with fairies, really. Not that she's much better with humans, either. Maybe because she can tell when someone is lying? She can. Must be Fae eyes. Murian said that it used to be impossible to lie to fairies because they could see her true feelings. From what I could tell, she still had a little of that power herself. Hold on, Oberon told us that ever since British fairies started imitating human society, they lost the mystic that gave them their Fae eye. Alright, Arturia isn't a British fairy. She came from Avalon, which means she can see lies, she can tell what others are really thinking. No, she might even be seeing deeper than that. This might be rich coming from me, seeing as I spent my life fixating on things like evil, retribution, and karma. But if she can see people's karma, that'd be terrible for her. I'm sure the only one reason fairies disappeared from proper human and civil history is the advance of civilization. I bet a bigger one, though, is that they couldn't stand seeing human malice laid bare. As humans invented language and began studying the world around them, the whole species grew wiser as knowledge spread from the privileged class to the masses. That's also helped lies, deceit, and pretenses spread all around the world. That's what the fairies couldn't bear. That's why they stopped having anything to do with humans. But now the fairy of this Lostbelt are just as pretentious and deceitful as humans. And only two fairies can see just how ugly those lies are. Arturia and Morgan. Oh, that's interesting. They're the only two who are like the fairies we knew in proper human history. Gotcha. Makes sense. That's one thing to see through lies, but it must be another to see the lies themselves. Sometimes we humans choose to go along with what someone else is telling us, even though we know where they're lying. We can turn a blind eye if it'll help things go smoothly. But you can't do that if you have the Fae eyes. They leave you no choice but to face both the lie and the true feelings behind it. But what if they only hung out with honest people? It still wouldn't be enough. There will always be gaps between what someone says and thinks, no matter how honest they are. In some ways, it's actually better if someone lies to you out of contempt. As long as you know what they're doing, there are ways to cope. But if you can see the lies for what they are, the worst are the kind of people that tell you to make you feel better. Even if they're doing just for their good reasons, a lie is a lie. So if even white lies are told out of kindness and consideration seem dirty to those with Fae eyes, then this Britain must be no different from human society as far as the fairy paradise is concerned. And if that's true, would she really want to save a world like that? Of course she would. She's got her head screwed on straight about that kind of thing. If she was going to jump ship, she'd have done so long ago. I don't know why she's so stubborn. But whatever the reason, she's definitely made of the most unyielding steel around. The kind of person who will never compromise their principles no matter what. Well, let's hope so. Gotta say though, you never know what life or materialization has in store. I was planning to head back to the foreign god as soon as I'd worked off what my life's worth. But this job turned out to be a whole lot longer than I expected. One thing led to another, and the next thing I knew, we only had half a day away from attacking Camelot. And I'm gonna be doing it together with the Master of Chaldea too. Who'd have thunk? You know, now that you mention it, it really is a hell of a situation we find ourselves in. I can only imagine the headaches Director Gordolf must be getting when he reads my reports. Would you be willing to join us officially, Muramasa? You know, that's not a bad idea. Can you actually, though? Sure I could. All the foreign god did was summon servants and give them jobs. Said we have no reason to fire, since we were handpicked by the strongest being in the world, so she knew we'd never betray her. She still does get the idea that some people are better fits for certain jobs than others, or that they might have actual preferences of their own. She just takes a pro and con approach to everything, though I guess that aspect might be different now. But I think I'll let another version of me handle that discussion. This time it wasn't just in the cards. Too bad. I know. Make sure you hang on to that feeling, though. I could tell there was no lie or zealousness to what you said. The only reason Artoria's made it this far is because of how honest you are with yourself. How honest we are with ourselves. That's an interesting thought. I'm exhausted. I can't believe Nock actually wrote up orders for each and every soldier. Squad leaders are supposed to handle that kind of thing. I guess all that menial mental labor tends to fall on the few who can handle it, since most northern fairies don't think about complicated things. Still, thanks to that, they're all honest and trustworthy, and they all are very loyal to Nock. Now that the Round Table army is regrouped too, the battle tomorrow should play out just like the prophecy said. Morgan will be defeated without a single casualty. The pilgrimage went great. None of your traveling companions dropped out along the way. And the rebel army is in great shape. There's not a single soldier keeping secrets, just like in the Queen's army. All signs are pointing to a happily ever after. Right, Artoria? I see. You're still hung up on Gareth. Remember, the prophecy predicted all of that. The round fortress shall burn, and the bell of water shall appear. What happened to her wasn't your fault, and she didn't desert you either. That was her fate. Is that really what you think? Of course it is. Besides, Gareth wouldn't want us to be sad about her being gone. I don't mean about her. What you said about there not being a single casualty. The truth is, you think our chances of winning are slim, but the Round Table army is going to be slaughtered and the humans will be the first to die. And yet, you're trying to comfort me by telling me there won't be any casualties. Then, there's what you said about no one hiding anything, just like the Queen's army. Be honest, Oberon. You've actually known Nock for a long time now, right? But you pretended you'd never met her before when she captured us after our audience with Morgan. It's true, I have. But if you'd known Nock and I were friends, you never would have trusted me, would you? That's not all of it. When we saw Mash for the first time, back in Norwich. Artoria's laying stuff bare. That's Mash! That's Mash? You already know who Mash was, but you pretended not to. Oh. You also knew she was in Sheffield, but you didn't tell us. You kept it from Sol so he wouldn't go looking for her there. I did. I wanted Sol to work with the Child of Prophecy of his own volition, not because Chaldea ordered him to. I admit, it was dishonest of me. As powerful as a Tamlin Mash is, it was still dangerous for her to be up north by herself. And then there's... Yes? You could say one of the reasons I'm so overly invested in Britain's welfare is their kindness. Who says they're worthless or incapable of doing anything? They might be powerless, but they were the only ones who cared for me. So of course I have to do everything I can to pay them back. That's why I care so much about taking Morgan down. Oh, what are you lying about, Oberon? And then there's the fact that you were gone on the morning of our battle with Woodrose's army. We only won because the Queen's reinforcements never showed up. And that only happened because you did something to stop them. You always seem to be so honest and sincere, but you never tell the truth. You never tell anyone what you're really thinking. Why is that? Why do you keep lying to us? Do you actually want to defeat Morgan? Of course I do. There's not a fairy in Britain who's worked harder to bring her down than I have. I want to destroy her Faerie Britain with every fiber of my being. If that means I have to lie, then I'll lie. Besides, I'm not the only liar here, Artoria. You haven't been truthful about why you've come this far. Your true motive has nothing to do with saving Britain. I'm not the only one who's figured that out. Sol is catching on, too. You haven't been fighting for humans, or even other fairies. Not for 1 second. Your true motivation lies elsewhere. You just refuse to talk about it. What are you saying? That's ridiculous. I'm the Fairy of Paradise. I was sent here to save Britain. That's your guilt talking, not you. And what exactly does it mean to save Britain, do you think? Do you know what Muramasa once said? He said that every fairy is seeking absolution. That every last one of them yearns for death. He said that deep down, that's what every fairy in every town we've been to secretly wants. Muramasa said that. He doesn't have the Fae eyes like we do, but he must be pretty sensitive to the pain people carry in their hearts. Oh, Oberon has Fae eyes as well. That's why you're still conflicted about this, isn't it, Artoria? You don't talk about things like that because you know it wouldn't change anything. It's the same with me. I'll do whatever it takes to defeat Morgan, whether I like it or not. So why don't we leave it at that for now? Tomorrow's our last battle. I'm sure there will be a time when you can come clean about what you're really thinking. That's what this whole pilgrimage was for, right? And hey, who knows? Once you come clean, you might just find that nobody thinks it's a big deal anyway. So they both have lied a lot. Oh boy. Another no battle node. That was a lot of revelation. So Oberon's been lying a lot. Castoria does not want to save Britain or the fairies, or something along those lines. It seems Nox's army and the Round Table army have rendezvoused. I still can't quite believe Her Majesty didn't even try to stop them. It's one thing to give your enemy a fighting chance, but this is far too generous. Between the Child of Prophecy's protection and the King Clan's fairy domain, our forces should be evenly matched. I'm sure Her Majesty needs to crush them, but there's still a chance they could get lucky. If our forces are evenly matched, then there's no chance of them winning as long as you and I are here. The two of us alone could end this right now, whether the High Queen is here or not. I could destroy Nox's army on my own, and you could do the same for the Round Table army. We're already being nice by giving them until morning. There's no sense meeting them on their turns. The only ones we need to be wary of are the foreign mage, Galahad, the two servants, Percival. But I can handle all of them on my own, too. They're all fairly good fighters, but none of them can match me in the air. The only fairies who could fight me on even terms are High Queen Morgan, or you in a larger form. If I were in their shoes, I'd want at least twice the forces they have now before challenging Camelot. But unfortunately for them, the soldiers from Salisbury coming to join them have only just crossed the western plains. The Fang clan might have helped to tip the scales if they'd gone over to their side, but they're nowhere to be seen lately. They don't have a chance. The rebel army dies here, Ainsl's prophecy will never come to pass. Assuming they don't secretly have a unit equivalent to one of us Tamlin on their side. Indeed, as long as they lack a Tamlin of their own, they won't stand a chance. Her Majesty ordered me to only kill soldiers that make their way into the castle town. So I'm going to patrol the air and take care of any soldiers that try to get past the ramparts. The knights Her Majesty has stationed in town will never get a chance to fight. And of course, they'll never get through the main gate, now with you guarding it. Part of me feels a little bad for crushing them so thoroughly, but there's no escaping reality. Faerie Britain's last war will end with a whimper. There won't be so much as a single surprise. The last war, True, I doubt there will ever be another rebellion of this size. The calamities will not end here, and Her Majesty has no intention of stopping the Great Calamity. Our victory here won't do anything to stop most of Britain's fairies from dying. Do you not think that's sad? Does it make you question the point of winning this battle? I'm surprised to hear that from you, Barghest. I didn't think you thought about those kinds of things. Woodrow said that fighting is the Fang clan's instinctual drive, and pitting themselves against powerful foes is their greatest pleasure. There is truth to that. I won't deny that there is a part of me that's a little different from the blood-starved beast, too. The one thing Balban, Sith, and I have in common is that I, too, cannot help myself from dominating the weak. But that is my own personal issue, not one that affects all of Britain. I see. You did become a Tamlin to protect Britain, didn't you? I'm afraid I don't share your aspirations, though. The name Her Majesty gifted to me is a hindrance, not a help. I'm an airborne fighter, not a knight. Human swordplay only slows me down. I accepted this name, in spite of that, to remain as Lancelot. I think it was about 100 years ago when my body began showing signs of anomalies. My love for her maintained my form up until then, but even that couldn't last forever. Her Majesty saved me from that fate. Without the Tamlin name, I would have reverted back to my old self. I don't serve Her Majesty for Britain's sake. I serve her to preserve this form. That's why I don't quite understand what you're talking about. No, that's not true. I do understand. I've just chosen not to think about it. Because I have something else I care about more. Something you care about more than Britain, I do too, as a matter of fact. I at least want Adonis to live out his natural life. I doubt you have anything like that yourself, though. That's why I envy you. High Queen Morgan has no love in her, but she does trust you implicitly. She'll always send for you, no matter how many times you fail her. No wonder Woodwillows was jealous of you. No love, Her Majesty. No, I suppose you're right. She has always and only ever loved this land. But I owe Her Majesty a debt as well. I wouldn't be here today without my gifted name. Her Grace made me who I am, even if she only offered it to control me. A debt is still a debt. However, I cannot repay that debt any further. I have to protect Britain's future, and his. So we know Barghest is going to betray Camelot. Oh. Paban. It's nighttime now. Could somebody turn on the lights? I have to get to the ball. I have to put on my beautiful dress. Hello? Is anybody there? Oh, forgive me. Forgive me, Mother. It wasn't my fault. I didn't want to do it. But my lord said he wanted to see what moving corpses were like. So I sucked the blood from one. Just one. But my lord was so taken with them that he had me make lots more in the basement. Of course they were going to overrun everything. Of course they were going to. Help, help, somebody please help them. I'm hopeless on my own. I've never been any good on my own. I never had anything on my own. That's why nobody ever helped me. I have no power, no special skills, no friends. If Mother abandons me too, then I won't have anything at all. There she goes again. Looks like Tamlin Tristan's not long for this world. Finally. She lost her Tamlin name when the Child of Prophecy defeated her, then Beryl Gut disappeared. And now she's finally exhausted Her Majesty's patience too. We're to seal the door with wax tomorrow. Probably too much trouble to even execute her. Now she'll fade away, with no one ever knowing what became of her. What's wrong with that? Sounds like a fitting end for the most hated figure in all of Britain. Remember how many fairies she's killed? Hell, I'd offer myself if I could get away with it. Don't bother, she's rotted so much she can barely move now. Anyway, she'll die soon enough on her own. Hell, you might even get cursed if you get too close to her. If ever was someone who isn't worth killing, it's her. You said it. At least when she's gone, Her Majesty ought to be back to being... Who goes there? The High Queen gives strict orders not to let anyone... Oh, if it isn't Lord... I was told there wouldn't be guards here. I wasn't told there would be guards here. I hate to do that to them when they could be getting paid... When they couldn't be getting paid much, but from the looks of it, I'm sure their next generations will show up soon enough. I got the key from them. Shall I open the door? Of course. Apparently she's been bedridden now, so do be gentle with her. But don't be afraid to get rough if she acts up. We don't have time to waste. Yes, sir. Come on. Let's go. Not worth killing, That's just the sort of thing I'd expect from a vulgar lot to say. Really, most things aren't worth anything. The question is whether they're worth keeping or best thrown away. Prices are something we set for ourselves. Even the worst piece of junk can still have its uses. Oh, Spriggan, what are you doing with Balban? Oh, here's Beryl. I have to make certain. I have to ask her. Majesty, Majesty, High Queen Morgan. It can't be. That can't be right. Oh, how wonderful. How good to see you're still alive and resolute as ever. I couldn't believe my ears when Spriggan asked me to take you in. But, it looks like you really did survive. Kroll, do treat his wounds, won't you? He's the best magical powder we have. Ah, thank you, Aurora. You really are a beautiful fairy. Ah, Beryl's acting as Woodwose. I'm sorry I doubted you, even for a moment. Ugh. It's no use. His chest wound refuses to close. Not even the magical powder can help him now. Besides, the Round Table Army won. Wouldn't be, well, dangerous to harbor Lord Woodwose now. We mustn't give up. Gather all the medicine in town if we have to. It doesn't matter which army won that battle. Now that battle is over, we can't let him die. He's the proud head of the Fang clan, after all. He's kept Britain safe for hundreds of years. He doesn't deserve to die so miserably. Aurora, Aurora, how could I have been so foolish? If I'd only heard your voice to begin with. No, don't try to talk, Woodwose. You need to conserve your strength. I can hardly believe it. I want to dismiss what all the fairies have been saying about Her Majesty cutting the Fang clan loose as a mere rumor, but... Rumor? What rumor? What did the High Queen do to us, Aurora? Oh, poor Woodwose. Then you really don't know, do you? Unless Woodwose is taking over Beryl? The Queen never did send you any reinforcements. She hates the Fang clan for how many humans they consume, and meant for both sides to fall in the battle. Her Majesty only trusts the Tamlin now. That's why she didn't even send anyone to look for your body. It pains me to say this, but... She abandoned you and your Fang clan, Woodwose. She thinks you're nothing more than old guard dogs who've outlived their usefulness. And I'm pretty sure we know that's a lie. Can't believe it. I can't believe it. I won't believe it. Majesty, your Majesty, that can't be true. It can't. The Fang clan's loyalty, our devotion, it must have meant something to you, right? I have to find out. I have to... Even if I have to kill her to do it. There are lots of pieces in play here. Okay, Section 23 was all story, no battle. The final bit of Section 23 is here, and now. Oh, what are you doing outside the camp? Are you so amped up you can't fall asleep? I could ask some of you, Oberon, what you doing here? Oh, I had a burp. Gross. Ugh. Yuck. That song is nasty. Artoria seemed like she still had some doubts, so I thought I should come check on her. Our armies might be evenly matched, but they've still got the Tamlin on their side. If we give them so much as a centimeter, we're done for. So I gave her a little pep talk. I said, hey Artoria, you know what King Arthur really means? It means King of Bears. And boy was she surprised. I can see it all too well. But I don't think he actually said that. You know how competitive she is, right? Lighting a fire into her works better than trying to get her to see reason. In just a few hours, the Veil of Night will be lifted. The final battle will begin when the morning larks sing. At this point, I've done everything I possibly can. Though I can't say I don't have any regrets. I've been flying around this way and that, looking for something, but I can't look anymore. I'm out of time. Even though you said it doesn't exist here. He's looking for Titania. And I just, in the corner of my eye, noticed the white flash. So I think that was an unskippable dialogue choice that I've been told about before. You think just because something doesn't exist means that people don't look for it? You've got it all wrong, soul. We search because they don't exist. We can't help but seek what we can never be. That's what my queen, Titania, is to me. She's no different than the stars twinkling in the sky. Because no matter how hard we try, those of us here on Earth will never have one for ourselves. We can talk about me some other time. Truth be told, I'm not used to being open about my feelings. For now, you should head back to the tent and rest up. If you're having trouble sleeping, I can always sprinkle you with a bit of sleeping powder. I may not be much at good fighting, but when it comes to putting people to sleep, not even Merlin the Incubus could beat me. Maybe my imagination, but, what's up? Seems like you're always angry. I don't really get that notion. Yes, I suppose I kind of am. Truth to tell, I've been a little upset ever since I heard you've all been going around erasing Lostbelts. Not at you understand, more at those who will learn the stories later. I know it can't be helped, of course. Every event ends up as just a story to the people who weren't involved in it. Decades after your adventure is over, it'll all be written up in some report. Those who read it won't think of it as anything more than a lesson to be learned. That's what I can't stand. Half of Oberon the Faerie King was born from a story, after all. That's why my feelings are split right down the middle. As a heroic spirit of proper human history, part of me wants to see Britain restored to its rightful state. Being a fictional character myself, part of me wants to let the story continue. And that's hard to reconcile with the rest of me. I'm okay with excising Lostbelts to bring back proper human history. We wouldn't exist if not for the latter. The idea of those Lostbelts being neglected and forgotten in the future still hits me hard. I don't want them to be thought of as things that deserve to disappear. I want people to understand that, even if they were cut off from their time, their existence still had meaning. Then again, maybe I only feel that way because I'm directly involved in this one. People have always moved forward by recording the past. They can't hold on to the same values forever. That we even have phrases like old-fashioned or behind the times is proof we've moved on from what we once were. Do you hate Morgan Oberon? No. She may be our enemy, but I don't hate her. Hell, I've never even met the woman. And you know, the story of this land of the Fae she came up with isn't half bad. The entire era of the High Queen is basically a fairy tale Morgan wrote herself. It's a dream she wanted to see come true so much that she poured out her heart and soul making it a reality. Whether it's a good story or a bad one, I can't help but respect the effort that went into creating it. Which is exactly why I'm pouring my heart and soul into defeating her. As a fellow fairy tale being, I want her curtain call to be memorable. Of course, we don't have a chance against her if we don't give it her all we have, so I suppose memorability isn't really a factor. Take care of Artoria, soul. Like I said, my part is done. From here on, this is your battle to fight. All I want now before I depart this world is to see you guys win this battle spectacularly. We'll certainly try, and that is section 23 of Avalon Lefay. A single Saint Quartz is our only reward. Section 24 is looking to be the final node of this part, so I'm going to really quickly cut the recording here, so that way it is better for YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow for the final part of part 2 of Avalon Lefay.